Hello, people, and have we got some news for you? Cardano news. One of the big Cardano supporters, Dan Gambardello, is really wanting to push USDC, and there are real discussions about USDC. I think, like the benefits of USDC are pretty vast for the Cardano ecosystem. It would get it a lot of liquidity. Now, not like knocking USDM, but it would be a new stablecoin. It's been delayed until March 16th, but when it comes out, it would not provide the same liquidity as USDC. So there's obviously massive benefits to the Cardano ecosystem of USDC. However, there's two sides to this. One is they want USDC, and it'll drive up the price of Cardano. The other is that it's problematic because Circle is pretty strict about being able to reverse transactions and freeze funds, and that's something that understandably a lot of Cardano people don't want, and I don't really want that either. So as you can see on this Twitter debate, they're actually saying that the problem isn't just about money, but technological and philosophical incompatibility. If USDC is willing to do it the Cardano way as a native asset, then fine. If your USDC is just some datum in a contract that can be frozen, it won't work with existing DeFi. That's right. If the DeFi would not actually be DeFi if USDC did not do it the Cardano way. Some people are saying they're willing to do it that way, we just have to pay them. But of course, I don't really see any real evidence. Like, I'm going to need a receipt before I believe that. There is very little chance that Circle will jeopardize all their business to accommodate CNT standard. They would have no ability to freeze or claw back. And that's how they have gotten into the good grace of regulators, because Circle actually works with like big banks and regulators. So the thing is, like, Cardano native assets can be transferred freely throughout the blockchain, while ERC20 tokens can be tightly controlled by the smart contract owner, i.e. Circle, and that's going to be a problem for Cardano. As for why USDC isn't launching on Cardano, zoom out a little bit and understand where Circle is coming from. Circle's business is much bigger than just USDC. The USDC reserve has tens of billions of dollars, the second biggest one outside of Tether, simply from ERC20 account style blockchains. And if you guys are wondering about Tether, Tether is probably heading the same direction. They are bowing and taking a knee to regulators at this point, so I don't really see Tether being much different. They have a bunch of regulated partners, banking partners, credit card partners. Visa, MasterCard, and Coinbase are all doing transactions with USDC. BlackRock manages the USDC reserve. Each of these regulated partners understands that clawbacks, freezes, etc. are part of the safety of USDC from a regulatory perspective, and all that makes it easier to work with Circle. Clawbacks are very important in terms of like money laundering, scams, and stuff like that. We've all been hearing about the pig butchering scams. Obviously, USDC can claw that back, which is why they're actually moving to USDT. And I think eventually USDT will actually implement some of the same things. So, but like my thoughts are on this twofold. I really want USDC on Cardano for obvious reasons. The increased liquidity would help the price of DeFi go up, which would help the price of both Minswap and Cardano go up. But I don't think I would sacrifice not being able to reverse transactions and all that other stuff, because that's obviously like going away from what Cardano was trying to do in the first place. I think you can build in USDM, but the Cardano ecosystem, I might actually invest more in an ecosystem that actually does have USDC, even if they can freeze funds. Because realistically, I haven't really had any trouble with that, at least not as of yet. I like Cardano's technology, but I do want something that will actually grow really fast as bull run. And I'm not really sure if USDM will provide the liquidity to do so. But I do understand why the Cardano people don't really want USDC. If that is the case, having it control your DeFi, it makes it easier for regulators to poke at it as well. I don't really know if having USDC and having clawbacks and everything would actually help with regulators when it comes to Cardano's turn, or if they'll actually even go after ADA if the SEC loses the Coinbase suit. So there's a lot of actually things to actually consider here. If Circle is definitely willing to do it the Cardano way and they just want like X number of dollars, I really think that they should just pay him the X number of dollars, because there's several Cardano funds and I'm sure one of them can probably just pay the USDC fee. I think they wanted a couple $1 million, and Cardano has more than enough than a couple $1 million in its treasury. So that's my stance right there. If it's just about the money, pay them. Give up your ego, forget the USDM, or no, don't forget the USDM, but just have USDM on the secondary still, release that, but get USDC for the big liquidity. But if it does mean letting USDC control transactions, letting them claw back stuff, then I would be kind of against it, because you would have to change a lot of the protocol in order for that to happen. I guess you could kind of lock in a smart contract. I'm not exactly sure how that works, because unlike Ethereum, Cardano coins are actually native to Cardano, which is very different from how ERC20 is actually structured. So that's kind of my whole view on it, the pros and cons and what I personally think on it. I really do hope that USDC can do it the Cardano way without jeopardizing, because I think that would be a great solution for Cardano. And of course, USDC is better than USDT in terms of regulators on the United States side. In other words, Charles Hoskinson has actually backed presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy's Crypto Bill of Rights, and I do really like the Crypto Bill of Rights. Now, let me tell you what these Crypto Bill of Rights are. I think a couple of them can definitely be implemented. It would help us. The others are a little bit wishful, but let's get these 6 points. Regulators will only enforce crypto policy explicitly adopted by Congress. I think this would completely kneecap the SEC and sort of kneecap the CFTC as well. They would actually have to wait for Congress's actions, and with how ineffective Congress is, they probably wouldn't actually be able to do anything. I'm all for that, because they should have rules down before you can actually enforce the rules. No rules, no enforcement. I agree with that. Most crypto assets would be classified as commodities. That one is for the agencies to actually decide themselves, and I'm not really sure how much the executive branch can actually affect that, so that might be a little bit far off. Everyone has the right to hold digital assets in self-custody while it's beyond the reach of regulators. We do agree with that. That's what Elizabeth Warren's fighting against, but that's definitely something we want. Everyone has the right to know in advance how any crypto token will be classified by the government. I'm not really sure if that's even possible, because there's dozens and dozens of tokens coming out per day, and I think it's near impossible, if not just straight up impossible, for the SEC, the CFTC, or any government agency to actually classify them as they actually come out. So that's probably not going to be possible. You're probably going to need a period, and this is probably going to only be for the bigger tokens that actually matter. I don't think you can really classify X meme token as they come out. I think that's near impossible, unless you give them a blanket coverage as a commodity, which I'm not really sure if you get enough people to agree with that. The Federal Reserve should give stablecoin issuers access to federal financial facilities like banks. I think for the ones that are backed by USD, yes. For the algorithmic backed ones, hell no, I wouldn't want that. So this definitely has a caveat to it. The Federal Reserve should give stablecoin issuers, software developers shouldn't be subject to criminal liability just for writing code. That is very true, unless they are writing code specifically for nefarious activities. So a slight at risk on this one, but I generally agree with this one. But if we can get 1, 3, and 6, I would actually be very, very happy. That would definitely put a dent in the SEC's attempt to over-regulate things. That would allow us to hold our money in self-custody wallets, and that would protect software developers unless they are doing something to specifically break the law. So I'm definitely for that. If you want to, and we have to talk about Flare Day, because Flare pumped very big today. I think it pumped more than 30%, 2.3 cents. I do think it will actually retrace. You can see the volume is going up. As to why this actually happened, it's because Flare is now using Google Cloud, becoming a key validator and basically supporting its infrastructure. Now, Flare is obviously not the only crypto with this. There's a bunch of cryptos with this. And for smaller tokens like Flare, this will actually pump the price and the value of the coin. So that's why Flare is actually going up, flaring up right now. I would take a look at the volume. I probably wouldn't buy Flare right now. It's still on an upward trend right now. But as soon as the volume evens out and starts going down, I have a feeling that Flare will actually retrace as well. We've seen this happen before with coins that just get like a Microsoft or Amazon or Google Cloud update. And it's not really a partnership. They're just leveraging Google's Cloud's technology like many other companies, but it will be a temporary boost for the coin. It could go up for the next day or so or solidify itself at like 2.3, 2.4 cents. But overall, it'll probably go down after a while. And right now would actually be a pretty good time to sell your flare and then maybe buy back at a lower price. Unless you think the market's going to shoot up the next couple of days. Then you might want to switch into BTC and then it'll fall in BTC value and then you can buy it back with your BTC, which would actually be the safer option right now. So if you're wondering why Flare is mega pumping, that's why Flare is mega pumping. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.